Greetings to all the students and people that is watching this video in real time. My name is Osvaldo Jimeno, a Gnostic Structure, here in Netherlands, in Holland. This is the time to do the introduction to this that is organized by the Gnostic Cultural International Institution around the world. Gnosis, or the Gnostic culture, is established in more than 30 countries around the world, offering self-knowledge courses of Gnosis. We study a lot of topics as meditation, natural medicine, alchemy, among other topics that we are going to see also during this introduction. So everybody, welcome to this course of practical magic. This is the first lecture. Gnosis Deutschland and also Gnosis Netherlands specifically is inviting you to our courses of 23 lectures that we give in our Gnostic centers in some cities, the main cities of Germany and Netherlands, especially in Cologne, in Germany, and in Rotterdam, in Netherlands, here in Holland. First of all, before to enter to this very interesting topic, we need to say that the founder of the Gnostic institutions in this 20th century is Venerable Maestro Samael Aumbeor. Venerable Master Samael Aumbeor synthesized the ancient Gnostic teachings, adapting them for our time. We can say that this great master of wisdom, of humanity, we can say an orientator, a guide, in a specific in the topics of psychology and self-knowledge, gave us a lot of clarification and right interpretations to the gnosis or the hidden knowledge in the ancient cultures of humanity, as Chinese culture, as Egyptian culture, as Mayan, Incan, Greek culture, among other cultures around the world. Because we can say that Gnosis is not from one culture or the other. Gnosis was always present in every main and principal culture around the world. Master Samael Aumbeor, he wrote more than 78 books of universal wisdom with the following topics: alchemy, that is the transformation of the energies that we have in ourselves; metaphysics, related to the explanation of phenomena more away than the physics or the geometry or the common science that we can study nowadays. Of course, a very depth topic that we touch in Gnostic culture is revolutionary psychology, because as the Greek ancient culture and people say, "Oh man, know yourself and you will know the universe." Also natural medicine, astrology, Kabbalah, that is the science of numbers, ancient civilizations, and also a synthesis of religions or mysticism. As we say before, he wrote more than 78 books that are available in our Gnostic library in many languages. We are going to post finally and through the chat of this YouTube live, and also through the groups that we invite you to join through WhatsApp. And then you can get access to all these books, Gnostic videos, documentals, interviews, among other interesting material. I hoping everybody is understanding this introduction about the institution, because this is the institution that is promoting and offering this self-knowledge course to humanity, not only in Germany, not only in Holland, but also we are in many countries of Europe, as Switzerland, Spain, France, Denmark, Sweden, among other countries, in South America, Central America, and also North America. Also, we are opening some branches in the continent of Africa around 3 years ago. So everybody that is listening and watching this video also can get access to the Gnostic centers that you can take in-person courses, but also online courses that Gnostic culture offered to humanity. Okay, my friends, there is a question on the screen. What is magic? What is magic? We can say that magic is not something unnatural. Magic is a science totally natural to the inner values of the human being. We can say that magic, as a definition, is the wise use of an energy. But that kind of energy and energies are the ones that the physical body, this one that we have here, produce all the time. We need to know that this physical body that we have 5 specific centers of energy, very powerful. We are not talking about chakras or siddhis or internal faculties yet. We are talking about 5 centers of the human machine. That is the intellectual center, the motor center related to the movement, the emotional center, instinctive center, but also the main and fundamental center that we have, that is the sexual center. The one that creates us physically, but also have the capacity to create and develop a lot of internal faculties as the chakras itself, among others. So as soon as we start to know ourselves, that is one of the fundaments for a magic, then we can start to use wisely and positively these energies of these centers of the human machine. Because the instrument for a magician is the same physical body. We need to know that. In this topic, we need to study that the human machine, or this physical body, is a microcosm. And the planets, the solar system, the galaxies, the universe, we can consider it as the macrocosm. But we are a microcosm. And Hermes Trismegisto in the ancient Egypt said already, "It is within, so it is without. As above, so below." This is a very wise sentence, and we could meditate by hours, by long time, in this teaching, because everything that is outside us in real, and this is not a dogma or some kind of motivational sentence, we have it in here. We have it in ourselves. For example, as we can see, the 7 main and principal planets of the solar system, we can also say that we have 7 main and principal organs in ourselves. And one of these organs, that is the heart, fulfill the same function and mission than the sun in the solar system. That is to give life through the light of the sun outside there, but also receive, to take energy from the planets. So we can say also heart give blood, and through the blood oxygen, and feeding every single area and organ that are our planets in ourselves. So this is just a simple example in order to see that we have everything that we can see in the outside. Also, we can study in anatomy and in the composition of the physical body that the same elements that are in the earth, in the sand of the sea, that kind of minerals, also we have it in our bones and our joints. Did you know that? This is just a little examples in order to see what is behind everything that maybe we could learn in primary school, in secondary school, in university, at home, or in life itself. But through this kind of schools of mysteries, as Gnostic culture and science, we can also study all this. If you have any question, you can also post it through the chat in the YouTube live. Greetings to Yeshua Katerineka from Pakistan. Also greetings to Vanessa Topete from Mexico. To Orki. Good evening, Orki, from where you are writing. And also MB from Croatia. Also Alexander Spindola, that is managing this transmission. Thank you very much that you are in Germany. Okay, talking about this topic, the esotericism or the hermetism, that is the study of the occult science within oneself. Did you hear about this word esotericism? Because most of the time people have a mistaken concept, a wrong concept about esotericism. Sometimes people is afraid about esotericism, but we need to know that esotericism is a composite word with this beginning that is eso. Eso means profound, depth, transcendental. We can say that exotericism, EXO, means the opposite. That is the external, the basic. Exotericism with X means common knowledge. But esotericism that we have in the screen means profound and transcendental knowledge. We can also say occult knowledge, but don't think when we say occult like negative. Don't be afraid about that, because this is a play of words and also wrong interpretations given to these words through the history, unfortunately. But if you don't know something about yourself, for example, psychologically or mentally or emotionally, it is esotericism. As soon as you know that, you are knowing the esotericisms from yourself. Even if you don't know an explanation, a real explanation about one phenomenon that happened in your life or in everybody's life or in the outside, in the planet, let's say, as soon as we start to discover the mysteries of life and death, the mysteries behind the astral projection about the conscious dream or lucid dreams, then we are entering to a depth knowledge that we can call esotericisms. You know? So I hope this is making sense to the seekers of the truth. Also, talking about the truth is in the esoterical part in ourselves. And every one of us need to study esotericism, real esotericisms, in order to develop his own truth. That is the purpose of the Gnostic keys and techniques. For example, through meditation. Authentic magic is a very mysterious science that allow us to control the subtle forces of nature. But my friends, before to manage the powers and the forces of nature, of a tree, of a plant, of the nature itself, as the ancient and indigenous cultures were doing, like stop the rain, make the fire, and even do a lot of constructions, very big constructions, even Egyptians, in the constructions of pyramids, they had to use authentic magic because there is no sense, don't make sense the explanation that common science give us nowadays about the construction of, for example, pyramids of Egypt, also Mayan pyramids, also Incan pyramids, among other constructions, as Machu Picchu in Peru, South America. I say this because I was there and I was seeing these great stones with so different shapes, like very curious shapes, but very heavy also at the same time. And don't make sense the explanation sometimes that the tourist guide in there give to the people that is discovering this great place. But through the Gnostic science, masters of wisdom tell us that these great constructions were made through the fourth dimension science. That is the tetra geometry, we can say. That is the science from the fourth dimension. So they could manage also even the rocks through some plants, through some kind of prayers, through some kind of magic, because they could manage their own nature. I don't know if you understand the relation between these two topics I'm taking right now. If you are able to manage and to control, and first of all, to discover your own nature, not only physical anatomy, but internal, then you will able in order to manage the external nature. Because you cannot give what you don't have in yourself. So if we pretend to govern the nature that we can say compared to us in a real magician of nature, we are not talking about illusionism, because nowadays There are a lot of people that maybe can know and take some courses and diplomas about illusionism. Illusionism is the opposite force to the wise magic, because illusionism, that is hypnosis, is coming from the mind. That is also powerful, but is not from the light, we can say. It's not a conscious process necessarily. Sometimes through hypnotism or through mental mind, some person can use some kind of, we can say, magic, but even going against the willpower and the freedom of the others. Real magician know himself in depth, start to manage and control his has forces and powers, and then if he's right to the divine law or the cosmic law, then do any kind of manifestation. Of course, we are talking about something very deep in this specific topic that we can study in the first chamber courses that Gnosis gives to humanity, but also in the advanced levels at second chamber or the second level of the Gnostic institution around the world. This is just, my friends, a motivation to know yourself, to study yourself in depth, because we are very sure in to tell you that only knowing yourself and managing yourself, controlling your emotions, controlling your mind, controlling your energies, then you can manage in the outside. Okay, Gnosis Deutschland through the YouTube chat is posting the a link for the courses that you can get access directly, just pointing in the link, and then inscribe to our courses, and also get access to the addresses and links for the Gnosis self-knowledge course if you don't live necessarily in Germany or in Holland. Okay, you can check the chat. Okay, so the journey to the microcosm, the power of the magician resides in his inner universe. This is what we were saying in whole lecture. Sorry for repeating again, but everything we need to look for first inside us. As soon as we start to know ourselves, then we are going to find a lot of capacities in the internal. Being a magician or esotericist means following the path of self-knowledge and mastering our inner world to positively influence the outer world. For example, inside us, we said already, 5 principal and main centers. We talked about already. But now I need to tell you, maybe some of you know already about chakras. Chakras means, is a Hindu word that means wheel of power. As we have, pay attention to this, 5 physical centers in this physical body in order to get information from the physical or external world. Also, we have seven internal powers. We can say these 7 internal senses also give us information about the spiritual dimensions. Because also in Gnosis we study that the creation is not only physical. The creation has 7 dimensions, and we are only in the third one. We can say in the middle one, in some way, that is the third dimension or the physical. But above this dimension exists the fourth, fifth, sixth, 7 dimensions that are studied by the religion as the kingdom of heaven, or as the superior and internal worlds, talking about, for example, Theosophism or some kind of esoterical schools. Whichever name we give to this superior dimension, we can say is the superior and spiritual part of this same planet. But also are some kind of inferior dimensions. So as soon as we start to enter in ourselves, to know ourselves, knowing even these internal bodies or internal dimensions in ourselves, we can start to comprehend, for example, how we can manage these 7 chakras. So these 7 chakras, or 7 internal senses, we can say senses from the soul, from the spirit, then we can start to develop and use clairvoyance, the capacity to see more away than using our physical eyes. Imagination is the same clairvoyance. Also, we can develop clairaudience, the capacity to hear the voices of angels, of masters, with your physical body, here and now. Also developing the intuition, the capacity to know without think, because between parentheses, we can say that the faster capacity we have resides not in our brain. There are a lot of superior faculties above our mind that resides in our heart, where our consciousness is. So as soon as we start to be integrated with our inner being, with our consciousness, then these faculties, but especially intuition, start to develop in ourselves, among other capacities and faculties. Hello, Ada Maria Saracho from Germany also. We give you a big hug and greetings. And to the all people that also is watching this video, this live video, or the record of this video, because all the lectures that we give, in especially in 3 languages, Spanish, in German, and in English, and maybe next we will give, I think, some kind of lectures in Portuguese, are posted in this same channel that we invite you also to subscribe, in order to don't lose any transmission of these interesting topics of Gnosis. So, my friends, finally, we need to see that there are some ethical principles of the magician. The magician is a person, before to see the next screen, that need to develop, above all, a lot of humility, because we need to know that the powers of a real magician are not because he created or he develops by himself. These internal powers needs to be managed, and also was the inner being, that is our internal God or God himself, that create them. So we only are managing one physical body and many internal faculties and senses, but only that. So through the principle or ethical principle of humility, we can start to receive also the capacity to manage these great powers of the being, because no one as a human person in real have the power, but the inner being has it. When we talk about the inner being, we are talking about our internal God. Do not think no more, my friends. This is a suggestion, a recommendation, in a personal God in the center of the universe, in the cosmos, because this is just a painting that Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci or among other artists, painter, very, in some cases, esoterical painting, but in order to give a shape to the one that do not have any shape. We are referring to God. But God is an energy, and that energy assists above in the internal worlds or dimensions, spiritual dimensions. Also, you have it in yourself because you are a microcosmos. So, Master Samael invites us to our inner transformation. We are here in the beginning, but as this little animal converts itself in a butterfly, we need to open our wings of the spirit. We can also refer to the astral body or to the body of the soul, and then get freedom and travel through the dimensions of nature, but also be conscious in the physical. Gnosis invites us through the techniques of meditation, deep analysis, retrospection, among other techniques, to do this inner transformation. So the ethical principles, a part of humility that we point in the beginning, in specific are four more: to know, to want, to dare, and to keep quiet. To know, because nobody can manage real magic if you don't study the principles, the information. So we need to study, first of all, the information in order to understand the processes, the techniques, how to develop, for example, the chakras. After that, you really need to want to learn, to want to practice, to want to get results in one practice. For example, let me tell you one example, one simple example. This will be a topic of the next or the rest lectures of this course of magic that we will publish, in fact, in the next months. But this is just an introduction. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you have a chamomile plant in your garden, or you can buy it fresh or even dry. Chamomile. Everybody knows chamomile. Manzanilla in Spanish. And then, as soon as you have this plant in front of you, if it's fresh, if it's alive, you need to know, that is the first step, that that plant, that little plant, little and simple plant, we can say, also have a spiritual principle. So you need to know how to ask for permission in order to cut that plant. You don't have to take it right away. No. This is not right. This is not ethical. Because we need to ask for permission to that plant. Maybe it could be rosemary, maybe it could be dandelion, maybe it could be any kind of plant that you have. If it's alive, then you ask for permission to the mother nature and to your inner being, that is your internal God, and then with some scissors in the way of don't hurt a lot this plant, then no with violence, you're just gonna cut what you need. You need to know that process. You understand what I mean? So it's not like chamomile is good for example, anti-inflammatory processes or for the stomach or for the stomach aches. No, you need to know how to ask for permission. Then you give the sign of the cross, you do a closing, and then you're gonna cut the plant. This is just a simple example. As soon as you get, for example, this plant at home, you need also, when it's boiling this plant on water, how to know to ask for the grace or the possibility to heal you or to heal somebody. You understand? You need to know what is the process. Okay? Alexander, can you check the audio, please? Because on the chat they are saying there is not audio, please, if you can check it. Or if somebody can tell us if you are listening to me. Alexander, ¿puedes checarte el audio, por favor? Sorry about the post we are doing right now. We are just checking the audio. Alexander, ¿está bien el audio? Okay. Audio is perfect. Audio is perfect. Okay, perfect. So, in other words, in synthesis, we were saying that we need to know the process, we need to know the system, we need to know the techniques and the way in order to get that plant from the nature. I repeat it again. You need to be integrated with your own gut, with your inner being in your heart. Then ask for permission to the mother nature where the plant is, if it's alive, of course. Then you are going to give them sign of the cross and a closing. And then you are going to cut with a scissor only in a specific what you need from the plant. Do not cut every single plant in the garden. No. Only you're going to get what you need. And asking for and explaining to the plant, because the plant itself have a spiritual principle, the same that you have. The same that you have. So we need to respect nature, because the worst thing that is happening right now with humanity, it is because we are, during the history of humanity, against our own mother, that is nature. So our mother is giving back a lot of geological phenomena nowadays, as the global warming, among other phenomena. Why? Because we didn't respect our mother. that is our mother nature. So we need to awake consciousness about this. And then also is very important the second step for the magician, or second requirement that Master Samael gave us, that is to want, in real want to learn, want to get results. There, because we need to be practical. This is not, Gnosis is not a theory. No, no. Everything that Master gave us in his books is very practical, and you can verify that through the practice. But also the same principle that we were talking about of humility, because we need to keep quiet. Quiet about the revelations, about the mysteries, about the physical and internal phenomena that could happen to us, and the verification we are going to have through these practices. Maybe somebody can ask himself if this kind of Gnostic practices are safe, are from the light, are in real the truth way, the truly way in order to get results and positive results. And you need to know that every single practice what we do through Gnostic magic or esotericism, of course, this is just an introduction, always is according to the divine law. Never the real magician wants to do his willpower without the permission of God. That is negative magic. That is mind. That is hypnotism. And we don't want to sleep anybody. We want that people awake, but we need to awake first in order to help the others also to awake. My friends, this is about intelligent rebellion. The revolution that invite us to make or to do Gnostic culture and science is the internal revolution, is the revolution of the consciousness that have three factors. In order to do a conscious revolution in yourself, you need to die psychologically. Let me explain to you. We need to eliminate from ourselves laziness, pride, greed, anger, gluttony, also envy, among other psychological defects. Also fear we need to eliminate. This is psychological death, the first factor. The second factor, to reborn, or the second birth. That is to say, the wise use of the energies that your physical body produces, but in specific, the creation energy. And the third factor of the revolution of the consciousness, that is a smart or intelligent rebellion, is the sacrifice for humanity. No one of us can be helped if we don't help the others. It's not possible, because only through the merits or the values of the sacrifice for humanity, also teaching the others the way to awake consciousness, then we will awake consciousness. Then we will receive the values and the right in order to be helped. Otherwise, it's not possible. My friend, the conditions for exercising magic, just finally, first of all, is have good human relations. This is about external relations. How to know to relate to yourself. know how to relate to yourself. That is to say, knowing yourself. As soon as you start to know yourself, you will discover positive and negative values. So we need to eliminate what is not good, what is wrong in us, but also potency our internal and positive capacities. And in the third point, knowing how to give energy to the centers we need to develop. This is an invitation to the next lectures that we are going to publish through this channel about, for example, how to develop the chakras, how to develop clairvoyance, how to develop audience, how to develop intuition, how to develop telepathy, among other faculties. So I suggest you to subscribe and to subscribe also to the Gnostic Self-Knowledge course, so you can get this information also in order how to give energy to these centers in order to use it consciously and positively. This is the Gnostic Library link that we were talking about. You can write it. Also, it's posted in the YouTube chat, so you can get access not only to the books but to all the information in so many languages: German, Dutch, English, Spanish, etc., etc., etc. So the best investment that a person can do is to invest in yourself. We are not talking about egoism. No, no. We are talking about know yourself, because this is the way in order to help also the others, to comprehend the others. But how we can comprehend the others if we don't comprehend ourselves? And before to comprehend, there is the understanding ourselves, to discover ourselves. Vanessa Topete from Mexico, I think, is writing, it all comes down to be willing to give up on all habits, both in practical life and psychologically. We can say, yes, Vanessa, that we need to start doing a modifying our whole habits about, for example, laziness, about the feeding that we are having in the daily life, our human relationships, the bad habit to criticize the others. Because if somebody, for example, want to be a real magician, even if it's a man or woman magician, we need to have very good relationships. We cannot, let me explain to you this point, influence nobody consciously and positively if we are not friend of that person. If we don't have a good relationship with the others in order to help the others. And this is basic. This is external life, external life. So we can say that this is very right, Vanessa, but also a part of start to changing our habits. We need also to know the depth knowledge of how to manage our energy, how to develop the chakras, as we said before, how to go to the nature and order the spiritual part of that plant in order to get healed or get the healing of somebody else that we need or we want to help, according to the divine law, remember. We also need to, Vanessa, also study that. Okay, there is another question. When the next lesson will start? you need to be alert, aware of the page in Gnosis Deutschland. We have the links in here because every time we are posting the next lectures, remember this is everything that is in the YouTube channel are public lectures. That this is just a motivation, my friends. But if you really want to know, if you really want to study Gnosis in depth, we have different levels. This is the public chamber online. That is the first level. The second level, we can say, is first chamber. And then we are going to find the second chamber, that is one level where we practice more when we do some kind of international meetings and get preparation in all these topics of psychology, Gnostic magic, natural medicine, meditation, among other topics. My friends, this is just the beginning. So I suggest you to Orki, that is doing the question, inscribe to the Gnostic self-knowledge course so you can receive every single lesson about these topics. Also, my friends and my colleagues are posting, we have weekly conference every Sunday at the same time. Okay, my friends, in German, in English, and in Spanish. You can sign up to receive all the information through the web page. Okay, MB is asking, what is the first book from Master Samael you would recommend for complete beginners in Gnosis? Very, very good question. Yes, Alexander, if you can post, oh yeah, you already post the library link, that is gnostic.link/books. Orki or Envy, you can look for Introduction to Gnosis. Introduction to the Gnosis. There, in that book, you are going to get access not only to the psychological topic, but also Gnostic magic practices in there. So you can look for Introduction to Gnosis, and then you're going to find it. Okay, Envy? Also, Vanessa recommend Psicología Revolucionaria, that is a revolutionary psychology. Yes, very nice book. Very nice book. Of course, talking about knowing ourselves. Excellent. Also, in the chat, you can find the link for the videos we have, for the videos. And yeah, Introduction to Gnosis by Samael Aumbeor. My friends, thank you very much. In order to assist to this lecture, we continue to invite you not only to the online courses, but in-person courses, especially in Germany, and in Holland, but among other countries, because we are established in more than 30 countries around the world. Thank you very much. Acá está. Be part of the Practical Self-Knowledge School. Creo que es todo, ¿verdad?